Ultimate MK Podquest.
Happy American Thanksgiving, Corey.
Happy American Thanksgiving, Neil. Are you doing the time-honored tradition of hiding from your entire family?
100% I am right now doing this today. Told everybody.
As we
I
live
have
and
to.
breathe?
I have no choice. Yeah, we ate. We ate, and I am here now doing this. I was like, I got a thing. It's
You had a
7:30.
choice, dude.
Well, you want your Sundays open. You need your Sunday for that thing, so.
Oh, okay, hold on. I'm being. This is character assassination. It's convenient to have Sunday open. You were like, hey, do you want to do it on Thursday? Which leads me to believe that you just wanted an excuse to not be around your family. And honestly, I've never met your family, but maybe I could get on board with that. I don't know.
Nah, they're cool. It's just,
Okay.
now, it's a good time to do this.
So we already had Thanksgiving. We probably talked about it on this show, maybe. I don't remember.
It might have come up.
if
I
we
knew,
didn't-
I knew it was happening.
I feel like culturally, Thanksgiving has very different significances in Canada and the United States.
Probably.
It feels like a much bigger deal over there. I don't know if I'm right, but I get that impression.
I mean, I think that's just capitalism.
That's just do it big.
Yeah.
But what I did come bearing gifts.
Bearing gifts.
Potentially 2 or 3, but at least 1. We'll see how we're feeling at the end of the episode. So I do have a couple other things we can bust out, but what I do have in my hand, Neil,
Yes, let's hear it.
is 500 milliliters,
500 milliliters.
half a liter of, in a tall, thin bottle, not unlike a tall, thin version of a regular-sized Coke bottle.
So it's not Arn Brew, I don't think. You've done
It's
that.
not. Okay, so good
This
point.
does not sound
So
like the packaging of a Peach Rings flavored G Fuel with Sonic the Hedgehog on the can. Mostly because
you got
it's not
one.
on the can.
You got one word right. If we were playing charades, that's one.
one. Rings?
One. Yep. No, not rings. So Greg helped us go to Scotland recently with a drink,
Sure.
like you said.
Arn Brew.
Scotland, I hope you get your independence soon.
Yes.
But what I have, thank you. What I have in my hand, Neil, is, some might call it a pop or a soda,
Uh-huh.
or just Coke if you're weird. But
Yeah.
it's a Pepsi branded drink,
So the opposite of a Coke.
opposite of a Coke, and it's from China.
Okay.
And it is peach and oolong flavored Pepsi. Now I'm gonna be
Yowzers.
straight with you. One of the few times I'll do that. I can't believe I just made that. Keep it in. Okay, we're keeping it in.
I'm keeping it in.
Wow. Okay. So I don't know what oolong is, in that I know what the word is.
Sure.
I've never had it.
It's that little pig man from Dragon Ball Z.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I've had a peach before.
Mm-hmm.
But so I do have the cap off, and I have wafted, and my gut response was, I don't know how to describe this, followed closely by whatever new car smell means to you.
Sure.
Because it means different things to everybody. And now
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a trip here, a
Sure.
taste journey
Sure.
on this American
Sure.
Thanksgiving,
Sure.
the day where people
Sure.
apparently eat mac
Sure.
and cheese. What the
Sure.
fuck are you doing?
Oh, we didn't have any of that at my Thanksgiving.
Good.
But you
Fucking weirdos.
Sorry. Yeah, is the weird part that people do that, or is it the weird part that they don't just call it craft dinner?
The weird part's that it's not craft dinner, and that you have it. Anyway, I'm gonna drink this drink now. Whoa!
Whoa, in a good way?
Whoa.
Is this a good whoa?
This is a good fucking whoa, dude.
This is-
What?
They nailed it. Seriously?
They may not have nailed it because I don't know what oolong is because I'm an idiot.
Okay.
But hold on. Hold the fucking phone. I do not have the vocabulary to describe what this tastes like. I would assume peach and oolong if I had to guess.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Pepsi Blue?
Yes, I remember Pepsi
Do you remember
Blue.
that?
God.
Remember how terrible that was? I would rather drink a bottle of NyQuil than Pepsi Blue.
Sure.
This is like if you put Pepsi Blue in a lab and you tweaked all the dials to make it a good drink.
Okay.
By which I mean the liquid texture. The liquid texture of it is
The liquid texture.
the liquid texture of it is a bit syrupier than a normal Pepsi, not unlike Pepsi Blue. But I gotta say, Neil,
Do we have a winner?
this might be the first drink that I've ever done for a bit on this show that I want to finish, not as a joke.
We have a winner.
We have a winner.
we're gonna do some ASMR.
China, you fucking did it again.
And on American Thanksgiving, no less. Thanks, China.
I don't know if we should wade into this with stupid jokes. I don't think we're sticking the landing vis-a-vis whatever joke we're going for. But if you have a local store that sells foreign snacks to you, everything okay over there?
No, hold on. Keep going. Isolated audio track. I can just cut it out.
If you have a store near you that sells like foreign snacks, or if you live in China, which you might,
somebody out there does.
Somebody somewhere does. I think we might know where. And try to track this down, man. I will say that a 7-Eleven advertisement describes peach oolong Pepsi as delightfully sweet and fruity.
Okay.
I'm liable to agree with them. The mild sweet perfume of succulent peach and soothing oolong tea adds an irresistible pop of flavor that'll be sure to put some pizzazz into your day, says 7-Eleven Singapore.
Bad news, Corey. I'm looking at our analytics here. We appear to have 0 people in China who have ever listened.
Well, looks like we've got some work to do,
the
Neil.
Show.
Also, there's apparently osmanthus flavored Pepsi. That's a word I've never heard.
Oh wait, we do have someone in Singapore.
Oh hey, what's up? You know who you are. You
Central
can drink
Singapore Community Development Council. We've got a listener there.
This drink came out this year.
Wow.
And if you're in Singapore or China, seemingly, or probably a few other countries, you can just walk into a 7-Eleven and buy it.
Or Canada, apparently, because you got it.
But I didn't walk into a 7-Eleven. As I was saying, I don't think I even finished the sentence.
I don't think you did either, because I was going to ask you where this came from.
If you have a store in your town, in like Iowa or wherever, that sells foreign snacks, they might have this, because I went to a store that I believe was called, at friend of the show, they made another one, Liam's recommendation, called Exotic Bottega.
Oh.
And they had this there. And they might have other Pepsis. I didn't really... I was taken by this bottle design, and so I bought that one. But this is really good.
Nice.
I support this. So
Shout out to Liam. Guest Room Status EP available on Spotify and Bandcamp.
Goddamn right it is. Pay them your money. Stop paying us money and then pay them money for a little bit.
Hold on.
For a little bit. Hold on.
I mean, well, nobody's been for a while, so maybe pick it up on both fronts.
Give your money to PepsiCo.
No, don't do that.
For this drink. Also, so do you want a sneak preview of what else I might be able to bust out here? Because if not, this is just a tease for other episodes. I might just keep it, you know?
Sure, yeah.
So I've got a package of Skittles here.
Oh,
I don't know what most of these flavors are.
Be careful, man. They might pull your fucking crown out.
They may well pull my crown out. I don't know what some of these flavors are. I have no idea.
Okay.
We would be leaping into the unknown. I have.
Are these Skittles from another distant land?
They certainly. I don't love the phrasing of that, but they
By which
certainly
I mean
are.
far away from where you are.
Similarly, I cannot read the package, because I'm a dunce. I have, you know those Oreo straws?
Yes.
I got a package of Oreo straws that are matcha flavored on the inside.
Okay. I've had those. You can just. I don't know
what to drink through that. Neil.
How about some oolong tea?
I just realized I set myself up to have to do that, and I really don't want to do that because it's gonna ruin them both.
You have to do it. Get a little
Do
cup.
I have to?
Get a little cup and take a sip.
I haven't even opened the straws yet. Fuck.
We can save it for later. I'm not going to make you do it. Not
Can I
today. Not on American Thanksgiving.
Those are all the weird snacks I have. Well, they're
Sure.
not weird. They're just not readily available in Canada all the time.
You need to be more sensitive about your language.
We both do. This has been like a fucking master class on how not to talk about things that aren't from the place that you live.
I don't think saying from a distant land is as weird as you made it sound.
Well, it's comedy, Neil. We're doing a show.
Okay.
I don't know what you want from me.
What are we doing a show about, Corey?
Mortal Kombat Legacy, the last 3 episodes of Season 1.
That's right. Scorpion and Sub-Zero Parts 1 and 2, and Cyrax and Sektor.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
The big boys are here.
Yeah, they are.
The big boys are here.
Just give us a... Do you want to just hold
Just
your
give us the
opinions?
hugest boys.
Give us just a gigantic boy. That's weird. That's getting cut out.
Is Daniel Bernhardt here?
Sadly, no. What did you... Do you want to give, like, general thoughts? What did you think? You know, we were both...
Oh, we're here?
We were both kind of down on the Katana Melina one. I thought it was pretty good. You thought it was fine. And then the Raiden one was just, what are we doing? What are we doing, man?
Peaks and valleys.
Yeah. We've been a little bit up and down on Legacy so far. But here we are at the finale segments of season 1. Where do you stand on Legacy right now?
Oh, man. So I have to give my final thoughts first. This is an interesting tactic.
Yeah.
I am higher on it now than I was last week.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm higher on it now than I was when it started, but
Sure.
it certainly finishes a lot stronger than it starts. I think if you showed me Johnny Cage
Yeah.
and then Scorpion Sub-Zero, Cyrax Sektor, I'd be in. You
Right.
wouldn't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
However, there were some choices made along the way that they were entitled to make
Yeah.
that maybe I wouldn't have made.
Mm-hmm.
And that maybe put a bit of a damper on the Happy Thanksgiving festivities.
Let's get into it. Let's dive into
Oh, what? You're not going to
Scorpion.
answer? Seems,
Oh, I fucking loved all 3 of these.
Okay, great.
Let's dive into Scorpion and Sub-Zero Parts 1 and 2. Do you want to go over to the Corey Corner?
Yeah, let's do it. Welcome to the Corey Corner. You ever heard of this Scorpion guy?
So many of these start that way.
You heard his story before?
Yeah.
You know how he became the guy that he is?
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing else to say
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. Shang Tsung released the Scorpio from the Cobalt mines, and it possessed Takeda, a bodyguard at Rayland Imports,
Right.
and
That's
friend
what
of the great Kung Lao.
that's what happens here, except it's snowing this time. Well, okay. To be a little bit more charitable.
Yeah. Because honestly, I think that this deserves it.
Yeah, no, so Hanzo Hasashi, aka the Scorpion, not even just Scorpion, just he's like the Scorpion.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Scorpion King, who was a different guy.
Yes.
Lives with his family in a village in the snow in the mountains. And they are seems having like they're having a pretty good time, you know? He's got a son named Jubei, and he wants to train to be like his dad, the guy who's awesome at killing.
Yeah.
And mom and dad are a little bit less sold on that whole enterprise because they know that his general position is a lot of responsibility on top of all the murdering. Like, Jubei is like a fucking 6-year-old boy who is like, I want to I'm blanking on the word. Oh, man. You throw it.
The kunai?
Thank you. Yeah.
I want to train. Yeah, I want to train with the kunai, Dad.
And it's like, you can barely walk. What are you talking about? So they're vibing out, and
Yes.
his village is going to be hosting the Shogun, or more accurately, the province in which he lives is, and that's a big deal. They're hyping everything up. They're singing songs and getting castles prepared, and some dudes auspiciously in blue show up at the door, and they're like, "Hey, man, Shogun's here early. I know, annoying. We need you to come hang out." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, sure." So he gets out his Scorpion stuff, yellow ninja outfit, fucking sick ass mask.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
a new element here, a historically appropriate enough looking mask.
Yeah.
Dude looks pretty sick. I will say this does have like this is maybe the most like historically grounded feeling the Scorpion origin story has ever felt.
Totally.
Which I say to the show's credit, but we'll get there. And turns out that's not just two random dudes auspiciously wearing blue. It's the Lin Kuei, baby.
The Lin Kuei are here.
And with that comes Bi-Han, who's like, hey, man.
I believe you mean Bi-Han.
Yes, I did notice. Yeah. With that comes Bi-Han. And he's like, hey, man, I fucking hate you. I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to kill your whole family, and you fucking suck, dude. Fuck you.
And Bi-Han killed the Shogun.
Killed the Shogun as a show of disdain, and then is like, I'm going to kill your whole village and your whole family, and then you, because you are inferior to me, and the Shirai Ryu are bullshit, and I fucking hate you. And Scorpion's like, Hanzo is like, wow, coming on a little strong. Okay, and they fight.
Mm-hmm.
He does not win. He being Hanzo Hasashi. And then the show does something I wasn't anticipating it doing.
Yeah.
Which is two bad dudes roll up.
Yes, the baddest of dudes.
That was not Sub-Zero. That was Quan Chi, baby. And him and Shang Tsung are there. And Quan Chi is using this as an opportunity to turn Scorpion into a Revenant and send him to the Mortal Kombat tournament to fight on behalf of the Netherrealm.
That's it.
Like, it's the story as you remember it, just presented in a slightly different way.
Yeah. Presented in what I think is a really good way compared to other ways we've seen it presented in other recent movies. Any of the recent movies. Really? Yeah. This is a story we've seen at least twice. This version of it, obviously, then there's the Conquest origin, the Threshold Entertainment universe origin of Scorpion, which is very different. God, this is a good drink, man. Fuck. Hell yeah. I'm glad you got a winner finally. Finally. Yeah, do you want to go over to the Neil Nook? Do we want to do... Is it too passé for us to be this deep into a Mortal Kombat podcast and still do a get over here joke for this? No, it's not. It's actually the most appropriate right now. Okay, so I'm gonna... So I'm way over here. Well, Corey, I think that you... Wait, Neil, hang on. Okay. Actually, I have a better... Hold on. Okay, let's do it. Hold on. Do it. Yep. I'm way over here. Well, Corey, I think you need to get over here. Oh! Welcome to the Neil Nook. It's Gucci. How do you fucking like that production value? Hell yeah. I'm so glad I didn't trip on anything. Could you fucking imagine? That would have been amazing. Just bashing my head off my desk by accident. Running across my own bedroom, pretending to be attacked by a demon. And then I turn into Quan Chi and hire you to fight against the real Neil in Mortal Kombat. Okay. So this episode was again directed by Kevin Tancharoen, and he's also the only credited writer on this one. The brothers Hellbing are not here for any of these 3 episodes. Also, I just have to do this.
I don't know how this is so fucking complicated. Oh my god. Tancharoen. Tancharoen.
It's Kevin Tancharoen. Okay. We've got Ian Anthony Dale from Mortal Kombat Rebirth back as Hanzo Hasashi / the Scorpion in this. We've also got Johnson Fan back as Shang Tsung. But let's talk about our new cast. We've got Kevin Oatsji as Bi-Han, but in this they pronounce it Bi-Han. They do. And he also voices the narrator who is like telling this story at the beginning, you know, the opening narrator. Yeah. Laying out everything. Yeah, he voices that too. God, I ate so much food, dude. I'm like half here. Finally, we can blame cultural unawareness on American Thanksgiving yet again. Kevin Oatsji also played Russell Sato in The Man in the High Castle with Bruce Locke and Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa. The boys. He was also Haruki Okada in Altered Carbon, and he was on like Stargate SG-1, Andromeda, I believe probably, I'm just going to guess, probably also Arrow, because everybody's been on Arrow. We've got Marissa Tancharoen
I don't know how this is so fucking complicated. Oh my God. Tancherowen.
Thank you for this gift.
Marissa Tancherowen as Kana, Hanzo Hasashi's wife. Marissa, she's married to Jed Whedon, Joss Whedon's brother.
Wait, she's not married to Kevin Tancherowen?
I believe they are brother-sister.
That would explain that part of that.
Yeah.
People share lots of names for all kinds of reasons.
Marissa she was a writer and showrunner for things like Dollhouse, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. She's credited as being the creator of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Wow, really?
She's like big time.
Too bad that Joss Whedon is one of her fucking in-laws. Talking about a shitty American Thanksgiving, am I right? Thank you. Fuck Joss Whedon.
Yeah, she's out there crushing it.
Good for Marissa. Fuck Joss Whedon.
Yeah, and jury's still out on Jed Whedon. We've got Brandon Nomura as Jubei. He was recently on 13 episodes of Arrow as Aiko Yamashiro, and before his role on Mortal Kombat Legacy, he had an uncredited role in Santa Buddies.
Okay. As who? Do we know?
No, again, an uncredited... Oh, yes, I do know, actually. He had an uncredited role in Santa Buddies as Japanese boy.
Rough. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Wow. Japanese boy is the whole credit, huh?
Finally, we have Michael J. Rogers as Quan Chi. He was a regular on a series called Siren. He's been in Fringe, Continuum. Here's a couple for you, Corey. Children of the Corn Revelation and Hellraiser Hellseeker.
Is that the one that's hackers but Hellraiser?
Probably. I haven't seen it.
You'd think you would know.
I've seen zero.
Hellseeker. Am I right? Please tell me I'm right.
Yes.
Evil, Deadly, Immortal. I don't think I'm right.
Hellraiser : Hellseeker.
It's not the one I was thinking of.
Okay. Is it a different one about Hellraiser and hackers?
Hellraiser with computers. Hang on, I can figure this out. What?
Hellraiser with computers.
It's called Hellraiser Hellworld.
Oh, that's cool.
Neil, I'm going to send you a picture here.
Please do.
Real quick. Have you seen The Matrix before?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen The Matrix. I liked Equilibrium better.
Okay, well. This is what happens when evil goes online. The newest, most horrific tale, Hellraiser 8.
Holy shit.
Hellworld.
Which one is which one is Hellseeker?
I think it was 6. 6. Which means one of these were coming out every year or two. And Doug Bradley is back.
There were no shortage of DVDs with this same Matrix-inspired cover on it at that time. Even stuff that had like no similarity to it. There's probably like an Air Bud movie out there that like mimicked the Matrix.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And I only chose Air Bud because we just talked about Santa Buddies.
MVP, Most Valuable Programmer, is what that movie was. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, whoa, hold on for a second, please.
Okay.
I'm hijacking the Neil Nook for a moment.
Jesus Christ, dude. You're taking advantage of my Thanksgiving sleepiness.
Henry Cavill is in that movie.
Henry Cavill is in Hellraiser with computers?
Yes, so is Lance Henriksen.
And that I'm not surprised about.
And Carrie Payton.
Wow.
Dude is getting what the fuck?
Cyborg himself.
And this was Doug Bradley's last one.
Oh, man.
He got out of there after they decided to make Hellraiser with computers.
I just assumed he died. I was about to say pour one out.
Oh, no, he's still with us, dude.
I'm not a Hellraiser guy. I've seen the first one.
I've
maybe
seen
once.
number 1, and then
number 7.
The first they made another one was Hellraiser 5.
5.
Which was Hellraiser Inferno.
Okay.
And I gotta be honest, real quick, if I can just wrap up this aside.
Yes.
1, directed by Scott Derrickson.
Okay.
Weird, right?
I assume.
He did like Sinister and Doctor Strange and shit.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't associate yeah. Anyway.
Gotta start somewhere. James Cameron, Piranha 2, whatever.
And
not to mention Ridley Scott's American Pie Presents Bandcamp.
Not to mention that I got a level with you. I was going to say something about the movie, and I got confused slightly while looking at Scott Derrickson movie titles. I've completely forgotten what it was.
That's fine. I think we can move on. I got one last credit here for Michael J. Rogers. we have found our third Danger Bay credit.
Oh, let's go the trifecta. Who are the other two? Do you remember?
No, it was hold on. Do I? No.
Okay, that's fine.
That's it for the Neil Nook. That's the cast of this episode that I really, really fucking liked, dude. I thought
this one's pretty fucking good, huh?
I thought this was excellent, man.
This one's like, this is what I would hope the whole thing was if someone told me there was a Hellraiser. No, there was. If there was Hellraiser with computers, I would want it to be this. No, I need to close the Hellraiser tab I have open in front of me.
You probably
do. If there was going to be a Mortal Kombat web series, I would hope the whole thing was like this.
Yeah.
That's not entirely what happened, but you know.
No, but I just thought this was excellent. I feel I was a little like when I said it last week that I remembered this being better than the opening of Mortal Kombat 2021 that tells basically the same story.
It is.
In roughly the same amount of time, maybe 4 minutes extra in this one versus that one, right?
This is on its own, despite mostly stylistic choices that I don't like.
Like the soundtrack?
Yeah, and there's some like visual stuff I'm not crazy about, but on the whole,
yeah,
this 2-part webisode is probably better than the entirety of Mortal Kombat 21, man.
Yeah, I think so. And they were absolutely using the term webisode back then.
Oh yeah,
to describe things like this.
Correct.
Yeah, smart.
Period correct.
Correct. Much like Scorpion's mask.
Yeah, but I mean, I think what it comes down to is it doesn't bite off more than it can chew or make things needlessly complicated.
No.
B, it limits itself in ways that play into the production of the show, not showcase its limitations. First thing I want to shout out, and this might be a bizarre choice, location scouting.
Yes.
And like set construction. So this takes place in like in a snowy forested area in a mountainous region.
Yeah.
So everything is very pure white and very sort of I'm going to use the word bland just to illustrate what it's
sparse.
Not bland, but like, it's snow covered and
it's sparse.
Monochromatic and sparse, and that does a few things. One, it sort of implies an enormity to the location that they don't have to actually show you, because even when they show the castle up on the hill and they show a shot of like a village, it straight up looks like it was a set that they made in a fucking closet. But like because they pan through that and then up, the place feels fucking huge. And you feel a distance and an enormity that wouldn't otherwise be there. Second of all, it makes any action that you put into that landscape immediately visually interesting because it pops off of what you're looking at. And it makes clever use, much in the way of the original Mortal Kombat movie, just the pleasantness of parallel trees. But this was a perfectly placed story and a almost perfectly presented one. But there was such a strength to that. And then I think because there's an attempt for historical accuracy here, and it's therefore not hampered down by weird near future tech bullshit and warehouses, that there's a simplicity and directness to the sets, like the interiors, homes and things like that, that also just feel lived in and comforting by comparison to the harshness of that exterior landscape. And I think that is something that has felt so absent from the rest of the show, because it's like, hope you want to be inside of a fucking yellow warehouse. And it's like, no, I don't really want to be inside of a yellow warehouse.
Well, too bad, because you're going there next.
I know. But that jumped out at me, and I feel like that's something we've not had a good chance to talk about through the rest of this show because it's been so bland. But this feels like a very evocative setting by comparison and makes it feel really meaningfully distant from the other stories it's telling because it is.
Yeah.
Full points for that. Like production design points, boom, there you go.
Beyond that, the costuming too, so Hanzo in this, he's a general for the Shogun. He's the Shogun's assassin, if you will, right?
I will.
So his costume, it's the Scorpion costume, but yeah, so like his face mask is like it feels like a samurai mask,
Right.
It's like a traditional Japanese. I forget the term for it. I half knew it this afternoon when I was researching, and I totally forgot it. His robes they feel like it's a Scorpion outfit, but it's longer. It runs longer. It feels like a Japanese robe. All of those choices I just thought were very, very cool.
Mempo.
Yes, mempos. That's what the masks are called. That's it.
God, this is the dumbest, most ignorant we've ever sounded in terms to literally any other culture this episode so far.
I just ate an entire Thanksgiving dinner. Give me a fucking break.
No. I'm not. This is about me too. Sound like an idiot talking about that fucking drink. You kidding me?
Yeah, but that's been edited out. And now everybody knows what it was. Just from context.
Mortal Kombat context. Okay.
All right. We got it in again this week. Yeah, no, like stylistically. And then like the Lin Kuei, where it seems like they've given the entire Lin Kuei clan in this like ice powers a little bit.
Yeah, which I'm okay with. Whatever.
I'm okay with it too. We've kind of seen that before. But the way that their gear, like their uniforms looked appropriately cold weather based. I thought that was pretty slick. And you still look at Bihan and you can tell, oh, that's Bihan, that's Sub-Zero. But the look, it is not the costumes from the 95 movie. They have put some care into these things to make sure that they reflect the characters, but they also look, period appropriate and different,
Yeah.
I'm really into it.
I'm surprised that nobody before this, I know that games obviously do this to an extent, but how is nobody in a project of like relative scale just done Mortal Kombat, but we set all of it in history?
It would be incredible.
How has that not happened? I feel like this is proof of concept, right?
I think so. I think there was an early attempt in an earlier script for the Mortal Kombat 21 to like open it in ancient Rome or something.
Interesting.
Do you remember that?
I don't.
Yeah.
But I'm open to whatever.
Maybe, that could be the direction they go with the games from here on out, since we are potentially facing like an entire timeline reset again. That would be a very cool thing to explore.
I got a feeling they're gonna make a game set in the future.
Well, don't forget though, we had an entire series set in historic Zhuzhen.
Yeah, but nobody talks about that but us.
I know, it's a crime.
We're the only people that care.
Just us and Paul. Shout out to Paul.
Us and Paul. Hot. Well, yeah.
And Damien. Damien's a fan.
Yeah.
All of our friends who we've made watch this.
and a Donnie.
And Adani Meropis. Shout out to Adani Meropis.
Shout out to Adani Meropis.
Still, I think this guy was really good as Quan Chi. We'll get into that. Adani Meropis obviously is still number one.
That's interesting because the first time I saw this, sorry, was something really loud just in my house? Did you hear that? Am I going insane?
I did not hear that.
You can keep that in if you want. I swear I heard a really loud noise. I guess I didn't.
Adani Meropis coming for you.
No, what I was going to say is actually do his credit, because I think my first response when I saw this episode's Quan Chi was I was like, this is your fucking guy? I think his performance sells it more than the physicality of him does, because he just sort of looked to me like a middle manager that they painted white.
See, he definitely had this sort of like menacing, I hope this is not a terrible word, impish quality.
I don't think that's a terrible word, not as far as I'm aware.
He seemed like this Quan Chi seemed more like a trickster or something.
Right, yeah, like he was up to some shit, right?
And I think it worked. I think it really, really worked for this
You know what? That's an interesting point. I hadn't considered that, because he does seem more like a dude who is like up to something rather than like some kind of mastermind wizard man. He seems like he's like, because Shang Tsung even asked him, like, "You're sure it's gonna be this easy?" And his answer is essentially probably.
Yeah,
like,
basically.
Because obviously Shang Tsung is there to help set him up, but that's about turning Scorpion to their team, essentially. And Shang Tsung is reluctant, and then Quan Chi is like, it's probably fine.
Yeah, and then he's like, hey, why don't you and I form some sort of deadly or potentially unholy alliance?
Right.
And Shang Tsung was like, yeah, let's fucking do it.
You could say that.
I was into it. I was into this guy. His name's right in front of me, and I'm calling him this guy. Michael J. Rogers as Quan Chi. I liked his performance. It was different, and it felt like it was gonna, like, it felt like it fit into this universe. I was happy with that. I
found myself buying into the Scorpions as well. That's what I'm going to call the family.
Okay, the Hisashis.
Keeping up with the Hisashis. I really like this kid. This kid is great. Yes. Adorable kid.
Kid's fun. Catch him on like 10 episodes of Arrow.
Kid's enjoying himself, which is nice. Like, it's nice seeing a child actor who seems like they're not terrified.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what hampers a lot, is like just not believing it. But the family dynamic felt
I really
earned.
believe that this
good.
kid wants to grow up to be an assassin.
I really believe that this kid wants to throw a knife at the age of 6.
Yeah.
And maybe his dad will let him. Well, I guess not anymore, but maybe he was gonna, and that would have been pretty cool.
I'm gonna play the special episode music over that.
Please.
I do.
Yeah.
You were starting to talk about the family stuff. I got a lot to say on this too, so please.
Happy Thanksgiving. We're here to talk about family. This episode's gonna come out in a week.
Let's talk about the family. This is one of the things I think that sells this version of the story more than the other versions we saw, personally. Because
what is spending the minimum amount of time to care about these people?
Because it spent the minimum amount of time to care about these people. Like the Mortal Kombat 21 thing tried to shoehorn it in like right at the beginning of the opening. I actually rewatched that after I watched these, just to like make sure I was in the right mind about it.
Right.
And yeah, there's nothing. He goes out to get water in that one, and then his wife and child get killed, and the other child gets hidden under the floorboards, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And then Scorpion's revenge. We just see Satoshi in that. There's a whole thing about the names. We're going to get to that later. And we see Satoshi bonding with Hanzo at the beginning, but then it's just the entire story is about cutting a shit ton of heads and arms off out of like vengeance and anger, right?
Yeah. And
this shows you like up to a point, a day in the life of the Hisashis, as you were saying, just a family. This is just this guy he's a general for the Shogun, and he has this duty he has to perform, and he's like watching his son want to follow in his footsteps, and he has a conversation with his wife about how neither of them are like comfortable with that. They don't want the Shirai Ryu to be their son's future, right? And then his duty takes him away, and it leaves his village unprotected, and then everybody in the village dies.
Yeah.
It's got, as Bruce Lee would say, it's got a lot more emotional content, you know?
Bruce Lee?
Yeah. I didn't need emotional content.
I've never heard that before. That's interesting.
Yeah, so it just sells the whole story more. It humanizes everybody. It makes you really feel for Hanzo as like a sympathetic character as well. And that's something that I think that the other movie versions of this just kind of floundered, and they attempted, but it just didn't land, you know? Yeah,
because I think the problem when any other Mortal Kombat media has attempted to address this is it's a means to an end of being like, okay, Scorpion's here. But this feels more interested in telling a story about Hanzo Hasashi that gets derailed rather than, we got to get to the Scorpion part. So here's all the perfunctory bullshit. And now we're at the Scorpion part. Like, you could see him just walking to the castle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the story just continuing.
Right.
And that feeling perfectly natural.
Totally.
And I don't think any other Mortal Kombat media feels that way about this story, which feels like a huge achievement.
This did something that I was thinking about this. I was like, man, this did something that I think really added to the quality of the first Mortal Kombat film.
Okay.
Go with me on this ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take me on a journey. Mortal Kombat, the journey begins. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here the rest of the episode.
Were you able to hear the gunshot on that one?
I certainly was. Happy American Thanksgiving. Should I say that?
It's fine. You get a pass.
Okay.
So, like, Mortal Kombat as a series, like, it was heavily influenced by like just a bunch of different things, right? Like, John Tobias and Ed Boon loved martial arts movies, samurai movies, science fiction, all of that kind of stuff, and they just sort of put all that stuff in a blender and worked out Mortal Kombat. So they were borrowing from genres, like they were clearly borrowing from like martial arts tournament movies when just coming up with the idea of the Mortal Kombat tournament, right? Like Bloodsport is obviously one, and then Enter the Dragon is another one, right? So then when it came time to adapt the video game that was inspired by those movies into its own movie, they end up making the first Mortal Kombat movie is very, very similar to Enter the Dragon, right? That's been pointed out any number of times, but what changes it is that they've taken that Enter the Dragon story and they filtered it through Mortal Kombat and then come out on the other side with something that is very similar but unique still.
Okay.
With that first Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
So another part of what definitely inspired them is like samurai films, right?
Yeah.
Kurosawa stuff, of course. Kenji Misumi, the guy who did like the Lone Wolf and Cub movies and the Zatoichi stuff.
Yeah.
Like all that influence is there too. So they took influence from that to create like these characters, like these feuding ninja assassin clans and stuff like that. And now Kevin Tancharoen, I'm not going to hit the button again, has like reached through that to tell like an Edo period Japanese samurai piece about warring clans, but it's been filtered back through Mortal Kombat, so it comes out looking unique and fresh, but it's still referencing all of that other stuff. I just think there's something kind of interesting about that. That's not something that happens so much, because like when it's the Edenian story, it's just a whole fantasy world, right? I don't know that there's any direct correlations. I mean, it seemed like just a kind of a collection of fantasy tropes, like for Outworld and Edenia. This really feels like it's like a specific genre filtered through this video game world and then put back in that genre. I just think that adds like a little bit more emotional content to it. Does that make any sense?
I think you're right. And I think you could argue it both ways, right? Because you could make the argument that the core influences on the stories have been changed, so the execution of the story feels different and it's filtered in a different way. So its priorities are different, but you could also make the argument the other way, the point being the same, which is that it could be entirely possible that Kevin Tancharoen is just more interested in than other Mortal Kombat works.
Yes.
That portion of the story. And
I think so.
It is well executed within the framework that he's put together. That's equally true as saying this story is able to be told because his priorities were elsewhere in influence. I think both of those things are allowed to be true. And I think regardless of which one it is, because it's realistically probably both.
Right.
It benefits it hugely because,
yes,
I don't know, I don't care about the Scorpion origin story 99% of the time, right?
Yeah.
Here I did.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, and it's because I think he was very directly trying to make reference back to the samurai story, like films and stuff like that, in making this. He put the time and the care in to tell like a good story, just to make sure he was doing it well, and not just like looking at the surface level idea of Hanzo Hasashi
as it's cool that a guy got turned into a fucked up demon guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I'll go watch Spawn.
Right. Yeah. Spawn's a good time too.
It's Spawn about a guy that gets turned into a demon. I don't know.
It 100% is.
Let's
and it
go.
stars Jax from MK Legacy.
I can't believe I've never made such a spot on reference completely by accident.
That's Anyway, yeah, this just worked. This just fucking knocked it out of the park. Everything. The sets.
However,
the sets are good. The casting, I think, is very good. I loved that the whole thing was spoken in Japanese with subtitles.
Yeah, what a fucking breath of fresh air that was, right? Like,
yeah.
How outrageous is it that we're like, oh, what a relief, where these characters are from the places they're from and speak the languages they speak and live in the cultures they live. How low is the bar, man? Like,
I mean, we do need to acknowledge that they did, Bihan in Mortal Kombat 21 spoke Chinese. Hanzo spoke Japanese throughout that whole opening sequence and any other time they spoke. So like people are paying attention to that.
I'm not
But
saying it's
prior
never
to
done it, but it's
Legacy-
like, yeah, like I was genuinely like, oh, wow. And I feel like maybe that doesn't need to be the baseline.
No, yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, no. I thought that was
Anyway.
great. I do want to say, if I have gripes with anything,
Yes.
it's the action sequence, I think. Some of it is due to what I'll describe as period accurate editing tendencies.
Yes,
AKA a lot of weird needless slow-mo and like
shaky cam,
shaky
we got
cam
it.
and flashes to white light.
Yeah.
And a bunch of shit that's really annoying. I also thought the fight could have used there were some segments of it that were cut a little bit too quick. I found that it
Yes.
did still show the majority of like impressive moves, but
the actual fighting that was happening.
the
in
fighting
between
itself,
the
the
editing,
martial arts is great, but it is muddled by
great.
the editing around it, and the music
yeah,
is some pretty terrible dubstep.
there was a bold choice to drop that in the middle of this samurai epic. That was like some flying guillotine shit.
Yeah, it was some flying guillotine shit.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
How
that
could I
fucking
forget?
theme?
Master of the Flying Guillotine. What a film.
Movie fucking rules. Poor chicken.
R.I.P.
Anyway.
Rest in poultry.
I had similar gripes. I've at this point just come to accept like, well, this is just how
This was
is
just
a
made in 2011. There's nothing we could do about that.
action scene. Yeah, and the music thing didn't. It was a little bit jarring. Like I said, it was a bold choice. It was kind of. Remember how many of the people that have been in these things are like running with Zack Snyder? It had a little bit of Snyder on it for me, the way he does his soundtracks and his needle drops and stuff. But again, it was the style at the time, right?
We tied onions to our belts, as was the style at the time. Can't believe I've said that twice in like 3 days.
That's why I said it to set you up. But I did think the actual fighting was good, and I did think that like the way that they showed Bihan use his ice powers was pretty effective. I mean, you can definitely see that that's not where the money went for this, but it worked out
It
fine.
looked better
And
than I would have expected it to be completely
Yeah.
honest.
when he's like raising those ice spikes up from the ground, and Hanzo's just kind of rolling away to like not get impaled by them, right? And then he throws the ice ball and Hanzo dodges it. And then we get the classic harpoon, get over here uppercut moment. But he says get over here in Japanese, which I was like,
Which was sick as.
really excited about.
And also the uppercut looked extremely video gamey.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they accomplished that stuff pretty well. Like it felt good, Is this the first time we've gotten a successful harpoon into uppercut
Yes.
in anything live action for sure?
Yeah.
I think so. Correct us if we're wrong. The boys at mkpodquest.com.
Yeah, that's our email, huh? That's great.
Yeah, it is.
What a life. But yeah, that's all I've got. It's really
Yeah.
good.
This was very good. If you only
it's my favorite part of this. It's
Yes.
beaten the Johnny Cage segment by quite a margin, to be completely honest.
Sure. Yeah, it is for me too. This is definitely the standout. I feel like going into this, he knew that this was going to be the thing that he had to.
I
put
would
the
not be
most
surprised
into.
if this was also prioritized like personal interest wise. It feels that way.
Yes.
I think there's something to be said for the fact that in a way this has the least reinvention to it, and I think wanting to maintain a level of that narrative purity does speak to a reverence that feels like it comes through in the midst of it all.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, and I will, and I do agree with it.
Mission accomplished. Okay, do you want to do the cyber initiative now? Do you want to become a robot man?
Yeah, let's become Robot Man. Hold on, let me.
Let's reboot. So, quick question.
What's up?
Have you heard
Mhm. Yeah.
of Cyrax and Sektor?
Yeah, I totally have.
Do you know what happened to those guys?
I know. I remember them from Old Friends Never Die and Defenders of the Realm. One of them shows up in Annihilation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're robots.
Yes.
They're robot men.
Yeah. So they weren't always.
They're robot jocks.
They were not always robot jocks. and this is about how that happened.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep, it's the classics tale you know and love.
We get to see the cyber initiative.
Yeah.
So it was much like it was in Battle of the Realms, where they just like one robot just like tentacles out from its hands and turns the other one into a robot.
Yes, it's exactly like that. There are no other elements to it at all.
You're not gonna give me anything else.
No, I am. So Lin Kuei again. They've existed for like 800 years.
800 years, we learned.
This has another title card explainer, and I was like, oh, God, what has Kevin got for me this time? What did Kevin decide to change this time?
The Cyrax, it's just the scene where RoboCop is getting built.
They work at a Baskin Robbins now. So they're in a truck with the Mortal Kombat logo etched into the floor.
Yeah, they are. Fuck yeah,
which is being implied to be like the Lin Kuei logo, I guess.
Sure.
And they're one of them. Well, let me backtrack slightly. This sets up that like the Lin Kuei really prioritizes complete submission to the Grandmaster's will and no disobedience. Yes. Ergo, turning them all into controllable robots.
100%. Drones, so to speak.
So
prescient.
Sektor is like, I think this is a great idea. I love following rules and being a narc. And then Cyrax is like, I, for one, don't want to be turned into a robot, and neither did the people who trialed being turned into a robot. And there's a great line read when Cyrax asks Sektor if he welcomes it. I liked that. And they get driven to a conveniently empty warehouse, which is cheap to shoot in. And there's a construction equipment in the background. And speaking of RoboCop, the setup for this really just feels like that firing range scene from the remake of RoboCop.
Totally.
The setting is...
Wait, no, I don't know that for sure because I didn't see it.
I've seen it twice.
I did see the remake of Total Recall.
You should trust me. Ignore that photo I just sent you.
Let's continue.
A visual gag on our audio podcast. So
and it's gonna be the art. It's gonna be the art
for the episode.
Yeah.
How? What do you mean?
Why not?
We don't have the rights to that.
No, we don't make any money off of this. It's fine.
Anyway,
Photoshop my tooth into his hand.
Anyway, it's reminiscent of the remake RoboCop movie where there's because what they're doing in that firing range sequence is sort of calibrating the RoboCopness of RoboCop.
Sure, yeah.
And so we have this open warehouse. We've got human men, and they fight some guys.
Firmware updates and such.
And they're like, okay, that's cool. What if we turn them into robots? And then the Grandmaster and a scientist and Kano are here. And they're like, okay, so we're going to put them into robots. They get clockwork oranged into weapons.
Yes, that's exactly what my notes says.
Their brains get weaponified with like clockwork orange clips of like Desert Storm or something.
Carpet bombings and missiles being launched.
Frankly, questionable stylistic choice, but we continue.
Yeah.
And they get put in robot suits against their will, sort of.
But the moral is, man, like, we're the fucking automatons, not them, dude.
Damn, fuck. And so then they run through a training phase, and they're like, okay, our robots can beat up human men. Can they? Can they beat up this robot we have controlled with a monster can?
Oh, man.
Named Hydro.
Hydro is here. We're going to talk about Hydro later.
This is the most out of left field, deep cut, weird reference you could possibly make.
Jesus.
What a hero, Kevin. Kevin.
Yes,
you're crazy for this one.
It could have been Smoke. He went with fucking Hydro.
Yeah, Hydro. Shake Hydro. Is here. And
Monster Energy Hydro.
Monster Energy Hydro. And so they fight a robot, and I'm going to level with you. They kick that fucking robot's ass.
They do. They just fuck him up.
Wasn't exactly a fair fight. They are
Yeah.
two of the most cutting edge Lin Kuei robots. Hydro's just Hydro. But
Yeah, yeah. I got things to say about that.
once they're established as like the ultimate killing machines, they're just like, great, robotify the other boys. Let's wrap this up. and
Boom,
that's it.
Episode over. Season over.
Season over. Yeah. And I got to say, weird way to, I know it's anthology, but
Right.
it still feels like a weird, it's just weird that at no point did these things tie together except for the passing presence of Shang Tsung.
This was just a series, just an anthology, just a series of like vignettes following different characters. The
Yeah.
most continuity I think that we've gotten episode to episode is these, where we saw the Lin Kuei, even if it was Quan Chi at the helm, destroying the Shirai Ryu. And then the next episode, we learned that the Shirai Ryu, or that the Lin Kuei has been active for 800 years and has continued on.
Right.
That's the most continuity we've had. And also Kano's here. Kano's back, or this is before he lost his eye, so Kano's around. I don't fucking know.
Backstreet's
But
back.
But this is the most continuity we've had between segments is these last three. You want to go over to the Neil Nook?
Let's
Let's hurry though. Get over here.
Welcome to the Neil Nook.
All right, this is another one written and directed by Kevin Tancharoen solo. Darren Shalavi is back as Kano. He does not have the red eye, so this happens before the Jack Sonya, or maybe in the middle of. We'll get into
or
it.
they got his eye fixed.
They didn't. Colin Fu plays the Grand Master. He was in Romeo Must Die. R.L. Stein's The Haunting Hour. Mary-Kate and Ashley in Action, which was a TV series that I just found out existed.
If it's called In Action, does that mean they don't do a lot? Rim shot.
Colin Fu was also in Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed
Oh, how extremely based of him.
with those guys from Wing Commander. The Wing Commanders are in that also.
How could I forget?
We've got Shane Warren Jones as Cyrax. He was on a Spike TV show called Deadliest Warrior
Oh, shit, yeah?
as one of the Deadliest Warriors.
Look, man, I was a kid when Spike TV was a thing, and I was a
Yeah.
boy, which meant that I was susceptible to the toxic masculinity whims of Spike TV.
Sure.
I watched a fair share of Deadliest Warrior.
He's also credited on IMDb under himself as being as playing a shinobi and or a ninja assassin on Attack of the Show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because G4 is back. Literally as of like 2 weeks ago.
And he's currently on a show called Be Someone. He's a regular on that, playing a character named Bentley. Peter Shinkoda plays Sektor. He was Dr. Yamada in The Predator. He was in the movie iRobot. He's been on The Man in the High Castle.
Man, this is a real... Mortal Kombat is a who's who of Man in the High Castle.
He also played Nobu in Netflix's Daredevil series, and somebody named Farian in a 3-episode arc on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Honestly, kind of sick.
It is, yeah.
Farian.
Ferrian. Farian.
I'm trying to get across the water in a boat.
Man, you need to be ferrying over that water.
I'm Farian. I'm the best.
You should be ferrying over that water, dude.
We the best music.
Finally, Serge Hode as the Doctor. He's been in several like Christmas movies, right? Like A Candle for Christmas or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like Hallmark Channel Christmas movies.
Yeah.
He was on several episodes of iZombie, some episodes of Smallville, and he played Mr. Sauls in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules.
He played who?
Mr. Sauls, Salz.
So I've probably seen this guy before.
Yeah, that's why it's on the list.
You've had to say that twice now, like I'm some kind of idiot who doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And maybe you're right. Maybe I don't. Maybe I never did, Neil. You know?
Maybe you ate an entire Thanksgiving dinner and then sat down to record a podcast.
No, I just
exhausted.
didn't eat enough and worked an 8-hour day and had the worst drive home of my life. That's where my brain is at mostly.
You know what you could have done in that drive home? You could have rewatched all of these like twice.
I could have. That would have been a little dangerous.
Yeah.
I just listened to a bunch of Joyce Manor instead.
That's a good way to spend your time also.
That was my solution to that particular problem.
That is it for the Neil Nook. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to this. It's the Cyber Initiative.
I've got a lot less to say about this one, but that doesn't mean I think it's bad.
I think it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. Like,
not bad.
Is there a part of me that wishes they had flip-flopped these and we had seen the series closer, the season closer had been the Scorpion and Sub-Zero?
Absolutely.
I think that should have happened. But I also think that this was pretty cool, really well done. It was interesting to see the Cyber Initiative, like the way that they actually are like cutting people's torsos off and shoving wires in them and stuff. Like, I think that the effects were pretty good overall.
Yeah, this episode is hampered by something that's not entirely its fault.
Right.
Which is that I don't care.
Sure.
So I'm fundamentally less interested in this story. I'll say that now. I've always thought the Cyber Initiative's kind of stupid.
You're not big on the cybers. I am a fan of the cybers. We talked about that on the Battle of the Realms episode.
Yeah. It's fine. It's not. I liked it more immediately after finishing it than I did like 2 days later.
Sure, that's fair.
Because in hindsight, I'm just like, what sticks out? And I'm like, the fact that Hydro is in it.
The fact that Hydro is in it, and that's basically it.
I think that the weaponization of their minds just being here's overlaid shots of war is comically bad.
Very funny. Very, very funny.
It's not terrible or anything. The fighting is solid. I think I'm just after coming off of Scorpion and Sub-Zero and being put back in a warehouse and just having some people fight some people, and then something else happens, and then maybe another fight, and then you're done, and I'm just like, Kevin, you had me.
Yeah,
Kevin,
so close.
And I just feel like this feels like somebody has intercepted the ball in a football game on American Thanksgiving, and they cut through what is now the defense, originally the offense, and they are breaking free, and they're trying to get a little cheeky with it, and this cornerback is taunting their way to the goal line, and they eat shit on the 1 yard line. It is a 4 and out, and they miss the field goal. Like
that feels a little strong to me.
It is, but it gets my point across in a way that is funny to say. It does just it's not as profound failure as that for me, but like it definitely took a bit of the air out of the room. I don't know how you do this any better. I don't know. I wasn't overwhelmingly huge about it.
That's fair. I do think of what we had seen up to that point of the Cyber Initiative. Again, a couple of them showing up in Annihilation with Cyrax and Smoke, and then the Defenders of the Realm episode. I think that this is the most interesting exploration of it because it actually shows the people underneath and
a little bit
and you spend time with them. It is a little bit, but there were subtle things that they did too, like as they're showing the
like Cyrax is doing a lot of yo-yo tricks the whole time.
Well,
that's what I thought was weird. Is the thing that I thought was weird about it, Neil, is that when they're weaponizing everybody, the thing that they keep saying is like, Sektor, you're gonna get missiles and guns and lasers, and then it's just nothing but yo-yo tricks after.
Yeah, but that's like a cool party skill.
But I just thought it was weird if you're gonna edit the story that much. Why? I guess Kevin Tancherowen just really can cat's cradle it up. I don't know.
Just maybe that's it. He wanted to represent.
I just wasn't expecting like Yo-Yo Kata today, and that's what we got, which I just thought was odd.
Yeah, I mean, it really, like, clearly Kevin was really inspired by the Japanese film Yo-Yo Girl Cop when he was making this.
Huh?
Yeah, Yo-Yo Girl Cop.
No fucking way.
Yeah, yours was a joke. My build on your joke is a real
Mine
thing.
was not a joke, actually. It's completely real. They gave whichever one of the robots I said a yo-yo. The reason I started backing away from the joke is I forgot which name I said like right away. So,
you said Cyrax. You said Cyrax.
I remember I got to the part where I said lasers and I realized I didn't know what name to say next. Please keep this in.
So,
oh no, I'm seeing an English localization of that is called is this real? So I Googled Yo-Yo Girl Cop on Google Images because I was like, I need to see this yo-yo.
Yeah.
There is a movie poster here that is either a parody or a localization. I don't know. That just says sexy battle girls.
That is not Yo-Yo Girl Cop.
It says it is, so somebody's being wronged horribly. Anyway, this is insane.
I do not. Now, I do own a copy of Yo-Yo Girl Cop. I do not remember it being a particularly sexy movie.
It doesn't strike me as one.
So what I was going to say before that.
Sorry.
That fucking shipwreck of a joke.
You can keep in the part where I say, man, I fucked up that joke so bad. That's funny.
Is that when they're showing the transformations, they're spending a lot of time showing Cyrax's transformation, and they're showing him like reacting to it, like, I don't know, yelling, and like he looks like he's in pain. He looks like he's struggling while all this stuff is going on. But a few times they cut over to Sektor undergoing the same procedure, and he's just like totally cool and chill about it. So I did like that they're showing Cyrax like basically resisting the program as much as he can as it's happening to him, to show that he's really not a willing participant in this.
Right.
Versus Sektor, who is just like, no, this is for the Lin Kuei. This is the future, right?
Right.
And that's true also to the characters. You know, Cyrax was not in favor of the Cyber Initiative, and Sektor was like super gung-ho about it.
Yeah, but Sektor is a fucking daddy's boy.
Yeah, he is. And we don't know that he is the son of this Grand Master, but you'd assume so, right? Like, why would they change that one detail when they did everything else the same?
He's either his son or just a narc.
Just wants to be like, you know, teacher's pet or whatever. Grandmaster's pet.
Dad's son.
Was there a moment when they were like, when somebody in the control room watching this was turning and addressed the Grandmaster when the doctor walked on screen, that you thought that for a split second, I thought the doctor was supposed to be the Grandmaster until the actual Grandmaster walked on. I was like, oh, thank God.
I had about a split second where I was like, interesting choice.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, they didn't do that. Thank Christ, the titular Christ. I don't have a lot to say about this one.
Neither do I. I do have
It's fine.
I do have a small theory, lads, about continuity here.
Uh-huh. Right.
Which is that I think when this episode is happening, so we know from the first episodes that the Cyber Initiative, the tech for this is what was getting packed up by the Black Dragon that Sonya found. And we know that Sonya got captured and like 2 or 3 days or something like that passed. And that enabled the shipment to get out and everything, and then to prepare for the cops to show up to save Sonya, right?
Yes.
And then Kano's here in this, and he's got his regular eye. And it's I don't know for sure, but it feels like the same warehouse to me. So part of me kind of feels like what we might be seeing is they shipped all the stuff out, like the shipment that they were shipping out was maybe to like get ready for phase 1, and then they did this little test here, and that's why Kano's still good, and then the cops show up like the next day or something like that looking for Sonya, and Sonya might have been just like in that basement the entire time this was happening.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah. Or at the very least, this just happened completely before the first 2 episodes of this that we saw. And then they were getting the shipment ready to proceed with phase 1. That's the more likely and probably true version. But I do think it's the same location. That's all.
Yeah.
I thought this one was fun. I think the cybers, in the way like their heads closed, like the masks closed, it felt a little Transformers-y, Michael Bay's Transformers-y to me, with a lot of extra moving parts, you know, which again feels like the time, right?
Right.
And I did think the fight, I don't know if this was like dudes in suits or if they had done like computer animation or some blend.
This is not a brain put into a robot.
No, this is like
it's a whole guy.
Yes, with cybernetic.
That's new,
extras,
right?
That is different.
Yeah. I wanted to mention that and I had forgotten. Oh, and actually, I did take a screenshot during the episode. I had one thing I wanted to point out.
Sure.
So, did you see that coming? Yes or no?
Once I saw it, I was like, "Oh, of course." You fucking idiot. I hate you.
Is that or is that not a robot humanoid?
Anyway, yeah, I thought this one was pretty good. I thought the fight was pretty good. This one, I do think there must have been more, this must have been more computer animated. The camera, there were way less cuts and
But the animation does
like
not
that.
look bad.
No, it was certainly probably enhanced. If nothing else, it was like partial, like a blend, maybe.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fight was easy to follow and track, and it looked cool. But it was also like a thing that I'm not crazy about, even though I do like the cyber initiative, the cyberlinque. I'm not big on fights that are robots against robots, like in movies or TV or anything like that. I just don't really fucking care,
I get it. I agree.
you know.
I want to watch
But
a
I like
robot
this.
fight a man or like a man fight a horse or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to watch that fucking Hugh Jackman robot boxing movie.
That's Robot Jacks.
No, that's Real Steel.
No, I
Robot
know.
Jocks.
I know.
I think there's dudes. I think there's dudes in the robots in Robot Jocks.
There's dudes in the robots in never mind. I was gonna say there's dudes in the robots in Daft Punk.
Yeah, but they don't fight though. It's different.
That's not. We don't know that. Revolution? Anybody?
Anyway. Good episodes. Pretty good finish overall for season 1.
They actually fought and killed Pharrell.
Oh, pour one out for Pharrell.
Pour for my boy from NERD.
Yeah, I liked this one. This one was fun. It's an easy watch.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
You know, it's got Hydro in it. Do we got a little bit of time here to jump over and do maybe a mini mythologies on a couple of things?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's probably some people out there who are just thinking like, who the fuck is Hydro and why should we
It's
care?
extremely reasonable if you're listening to not know who Hydro is.
Mythologies.
Yeah, I'm going to make this quick. I got a little bit of something for both of these episodes.
Okay.
So we're going to save the Hydra one for second. The first one is in the Scorpion and Sub-Zero episodes. Scorpion's son is named Jubei,
Yes.
but in Scorpion's Revenge, he calls him Satoshi,
Yes.
right? A little bit of confusion there. Also in Legacy, his wife's name is Kana, but in Mortal Kombat 21, his wife's name is Harumi, right?
Right.
So what's the deal?
What is the deal?
Well, I did a little bit of research because I was very confused about this, and it's a pretty short story. Loose associate of the podcast by proxy, Sean Kittleson, who wrote the Mortal Kombat 10 comics.
The most tenuous relationship we could possibly have with somebody.
Who wrote the Mortal Kombat 10 comics
Yeah.
and wrote Mortal Kombat 11. He used the names Jubei and Kana in the Mortal Kombat 10 comics. But in the Mortal Kombat 10 story mode, there is a time where Hanzo refers to his son as Satoshi. The official name is Satoshi. Jubei is kind of like a nickname, like a family, like a term of endearment name. And Hanzo's wife is named Harumi, and Kana is her nickname, her sort of.
That makes me like the
loving
family
name.
part even more.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
So in Mortal Kombat 2021, they also use the names Jubei for the child. But if you watch the credits of Mortal Kombat 2021, the kid who played Jubei in that, his character's name is Satoshi Jubei Hasashi. So it's just a nickname thing. But you know me, I love naming conventions in Mortal Kombat stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still obsessed with the Y in Raiden, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to touch on that. Now, let's talk about Hydro.
If you love shaving your face, good news.
Hydro is an original character created for the Malibu comic series Mortal Kombat Blood and Thunder.
What a good fucking name for a thing.
Gonna give credit to the writer and artist on Blood and Thunder. I don't know which one of them came up with it, but we're just gonna say Charles Marshall wrote that story. Patrick Rollo penciled it. Bobby Ray inked it, and
There's a dude whose name is just Bobby Ray.
Bobby Ray inked it. RAE, Bobby Ray, and Dave Lamphere lettered the book. Hydro in Blood and Thunder is just another Lin Kuei assassin, a friend of Bihan's, who is going with him on the boat to the Mortal Kombat tournament. And basically, once they get to the island, Hydro, he gets in a fight with someone. It might be Grum. I don't think it's Grum, another original character.
Grum.
And wins. No, Sub-Zero kills Grum.
God, you said Grum and my brain heard fucking Googam.
Yeah, that's the son of Goom.
Oh my God. Ben has fucking poisoned my goddamn brain.
He's poisoned everybody's brain. That guy's a menace.
God bless him.
I'm literally looking at the pages right now to see if I can figure it out. He does fight somebody, wins, and then later gets killed by Scorpion. Hydro is just a Lin Kuei dude made up for a comic book who has water powers.
And people really want him in the video games.
He is technically in the Mortal Kombat 11 Towers of Time. He's a modifier in certain matches that just is, a non-player character. I haven't spent hardly any time with the Towers of Time.
I don't even know what that is. I have not played the
11.
game.
They're just challenge towers that have different
And Hydro is there?
Yeah, restrictions. You don't see him. I think he just sort of allies like a Sub-Zero build and just sends waves across the stage that will knock you over as you're trying to fight. So there is a technically canonical appearance of Hydro if you consider the Towers of Time canonical. And that's it. That's who Hydro is.
Okay, season 1 of Mortal Kombat Legacy, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Overall, fuck, man. Overall, I think I would only call like 3 of these really good.
Okay. Johnny Cage and Scorpion and Sub-Zero
1 and 2. Yeah.
Sure.
The rest of it varies from borderline unwatchable to just not really being for me.
Yeah. Okay.
But I can see where the appeal comes from as a cohesive thing, and I understand why it got popular.
Yes.
Because the highs are really high, but the lows can get.
But if nothing else, Legacy came along in a post-threshold world and presented a different style of storytelling for Mortal Kombat, right?
Right.
And I think that people really responded strongly to that, and I think part of it is the time that it was made. Sort of these grittier, grimmer action series were like a little bit more in vogue, right? Till we all woke up one day and realized how cynical we had become about the world.
Right.
I think people were just ready for it because it felt serious. It felt like it was taking the mythology seriously. Raiden episode notwithstanding. I can see why it got popular too, and I kind of agree with you. I think that I would lump this Cyber Initiative one in there too, and I definitely think that the Katana and Melina one was really going for something and fairly successful.
Yeah,
I definitely liked this more than you. I do put that Raiden one at the bottom. And then
maybe I'm being a little unfair. I think part of it is just not a lot of it's extremely memorable to me.
right.
Like you just said, Katana Melina, something that was a 2-part episode, and I was like, oh yeah, we talked about that a week ago, man.
Yeah,
and I need to be
less,
reminded.
Actually.
That's not good.
That's fair.
That's not good.
I mean, it's just not for you, and that's okay.
Yeah, except when it's good as shit though.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think season 1 finished strong. Season 2 is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a lot more serialized, and we are going to meet, Liu Kang finally. No Liu Kang in this season at all, right?
Bold choice, frankly, because you could have easily done Liu Kang and Kung Lao 1 and 2, right?
Yeah. Guess how season 2 starts?
Is it that thing I just said?
Yeah.
Is it actually? It is.
Yeah. It actually is.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at me with a huge brain.
We'll see how season 2 goes. I've only watched season 2 once. I had seen season 1 of this a couple of times, I realized after revisiting it.
You were 24 years old and watching it at 3 a.m. on a horrible binge.
Probably.
Was any of that accurate?
No, I believe I watched all of Legacy season 2 last year for the first time, and I did watch it all at once.
So not 24, not
but
on
that's the only part. It probably did do it like 3 in the morning.
Look, don't worry.
Just the
One
age
of us
part.
is 24. Everything's fine.
That'll be you. That'll be how you watch
Yeah,
it.
I'll watch it on a bender. I'll have to start drinking, so that'll be interesting.
Oh yeah.
I'll get real fucking sloshed up, and I'll watch Mortal Kombat. I will not do this. I do not want any single listener to get their hopes up.
Don't do it, man. Not for the show. Don't do it. Don't do it for money. Don't do it for all the money that people will pay us for you to do it.
Dare to resist drugs and alcohol.
Stick to your principles. Don't do it. Even though I'm sure people will give us.
If you drink too much, you turn into this guy. We'll hold that thought.
Me? You turn into me? Is that what you're saying?
No, you turn into.
God damn it!
You turn into Hellraiser on the computer. That's the fourth visual gag, so I'm gonna retire the bit.
I'm gonna collage these things for the cover art. I really am.
Hellraiser Hellworld, Astar from the old 80s and 90s commercials for the War Amps, I believe. A picture of Hydro.
Yep.
And that's it. And I guess this gif of Michelle Tanner.
Well, that's mine. That's mine. So yeah, man, I guess we're going to be on to Mortal Kombat Legacy Season 2 next, unless we release something else differently in between because of scheduling again.
Might keep you guys on your toes.
Yeah, bear with us. Overall, I think that... So I guess my one final thought on Legacy Season 1 is you can just pick out the ones you like. You don't have to watch it all. It's not like you need to watch all of them. So my recommendation for anybody curious is to just just watch the good ones, right? Watch the Scorpion Sub-Zero one. I think that's a very successful short film. You know?
Yeah.
Watch the Cyrax and Sektor one. I think that it's pretty impressive what they're able to do with the budget and everything.
I'd agree to that.
Check out Hydro, right? Everybody's favorite Mortal Kombat character, Hydro.
Yeah.
And then I'd say the Johnny Cage one is great. I've actually shown that to a few people recently, and it's a crowd pleaser. Check that one out. And then I think I mean, at this point, I've almost named all of them. Right?
And then I would just, you can skip Raiden for sure. I don't even think that's worth a curiosity viewing. Like, I really don't. It's not even long, and I still don't think that. But it's worth sampling. It's worth sampling. Like a platter, like a big buffet platter at your.
Yeah.
Let's bring it home. This is the bow that ties it all together. Corey, don't fuck it up. At your American Thanksgiving. Yes! Let's go!
We got there. Next week, maybe Mortal Kombat Legacy Season 2, maybe something else. For right now, I need to take a fucking nap, dude.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna let you go be with your family.
Well, it's nap time. It's nap time.
You don't nap. You can't nap at 9 p.m.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
You should censor that time so nobody knows when we did this.
I wake up at 11 feeling confused and then go back to sleep around 3 in the morning.
Real chaos vibes on that. Real fucking everybody rip your face off or everybody run around. Sorry.
Corey, what do you have to plug?
I would love to plug the other podcast that I do. I mentioned Liam already. He's my friend. Mitch is also my friend, and we do a show called They Made Another One about sequels and reboots and remakes and all kinds of wacky, zany stuff. If my math is right, this is going to coincide with our first December episode, which is our first Christmas movie episode, and we watched the new Home Alone movie, Home Sweet Home Alone, and we talked for nearly 2 hours.
This is, by the way, how I discovered there's a new Home Alone movie.
Yep. Disney's not pushing it too hard.
Find out why.
Do with that information what you will. They made another on Twitter. They made another one on all your podcast services. You say it like a question. There's a question mark and exclamation point. They made another one. If you listen to the podcast, it'll sound like that. And I'm on Twitter at Mr. Corey Price.
You can find me taking a nap here shortly, but I am on Twitter at Final Neil and Instagram at Final Neil Retro. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at MK Podquest. There is a Facebook page. I think it's just facebook.com/MK Podquest. There's definitely a link to that on our website, mkpodquest.com, where you can find player links, a blog, a link to our store, a link to our coffee page, etc. Leave us voicemails there, email us, the boys at mkpodquest.com. Review us, give us good reviews, give us good ratings, like 5-star ratings anywhere you can, and tell your friends. It's the season of giving.
4 stars or higher. That's all. If we're 3.5 or below, don't review us. Actually.
And yeah, I lost my train of thought, but I think that's it.
Let's just I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah,
let's go to sleep now.
Let's go.
It would be deeply hilarious if we revealed right now that we recorded this at like 12:30. Like it's barely noon. Or just shambles.